3 races left in our chase for the championship. We're here at Rockingham, the Oreo 300, the 8th chase race of the Target Series season. On the pole, we have the 33 of Carson Bowers, 2's outside the 8 of Matt Hamill. Then 30 of Diego Yepez, 4th Steve Larkin, rounding out the top 5, Clayton Thomas. In 6th, you have Eli Bright. 7th is Marshall Burrow, 8th Riley Spurley-Tube. In 9th, you have Code Luigi, and Alexander Rowe rounds out the top 10. For the rest of it, you have William Bullen with Luke Rainey. Then there's Lawrence Palampon and Anthony Lehman. Then you have Danny Lloyd and Jeff Bright. Stephen Baker, 12 points out of the points lead, so over a full race back. Adam McDowell has the points lead, 3 points. He has to the bank. They have Jonathan Buford and Peter Onjak, along with Andrew Miller and Trey Rainey. Then there's William Steeman and Sebastian Kukulon, along with Jake Galloway and Jonathan Wong. Then you have TJ Hanley and Justin Knight. Bill Seaman and second in points, Joey Trickley, 3 points behind McDowell. Then you have Kaylee Bourne and Michael Sanders, Johnny Gardner and Alex Stewart. Then there's Michael Canto and Jay Jefferson, Max Anderson with Jennifer Buford. Then you have Landon Lyons and Joe Jefferson. And in the final row, Isaac Nichols on the 7, 2's outside of the 24 of Charles Robert. That's the starting lineup for the Oreo 300 at Rockingham. Let's get going with our starting command.
I'm Staff Sergeant Proto with the soldiers of the 1st Cavalry Division. Gentlemen, start your engines!
All right, everybody, just like what we talked about in the transporter, nice and easy. It's a long race, settle in. It'll be nice and smooth. Go out there and kick some butt tonight. This is your house. Let's prove it to them.
3 races left in our quest to see who will be the Target Series champion. Adam McDowell starts further up ahead of Joey Trickle, but on the outside, Trickle starts on the inside. We'll see who gets the victory lane in the Oreo 300 after 45 laps. Pace car to pit lane. Bowers, Hamill front row. We'll see how the chase is affected here, as we only have 3 races left to the restart zone. 45 laps, green flag at Rockingham. We're racing. Yepez, Clayton Thomas emerge 1-2 as Yepez leads lap 1. Now Thomas to the bottom lane into turn 1. Got a great run, some cars into the wall through 1 and 2. That's Eli Bright, the 88, that's scraping the outside wall as they come off of turn number 2. Oh, around he's got to go! He gets the 3 of Anthony Lehman, hard hit for the 3 to the inside wall. Is the yellow out or are we staying green? We're staying green for now. Anthony Lehman has nailed the inside wall. Clayton Thomas leads lap 2. Still green flag racing here at Rockingham. The field's been spread out though. As Clayton Thomas clears, Marshall Burrow second, Cole Luigi to third. As some cars start falling back. Adam McDowell falling back on the outside. Joey Trickle's just gotten by him. You can see how the field really spread out there. And they had a wreck again. TJ Hanley and Alex Stewart have wrecked and Jonathan Wong as well. Hard damage for a ton of cars. Andrew Miller, one of them. Hard damage to a ton of cars, but we're still green for now. But my gosh, we have to see what all happened to everyone once we get a chance to. My gosh, it's definitely spread the field out. 3 cars pull away. Clayton Thomas, Marshall Burrow, Cole Luigi. The car come down pit road right there. Maybe the 46 of Alex Stewart it is. He pulls down to the pit lane. TJ Hanley probably down there as well. Maybe Jonathan Wong and Andrew Miller might come down the pit lane. Here comes Burrow on the attack of Clayton Thomas. Cole Luigi there looking for his first Target Series victory. It's kind of weird to think that he has not won in the Target Series yet. He's won so many times in the Gatorade Cup Series. He's won once in the Pennzoil Truck Series. Now with them fooling around, these top 3, here comes Steve Larkin to the mix along with Alexander Rowe. And Jeff Bright's been a long time since his last Target Series victory. He would love to get one here today at Rockingham. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's for the race lead. Jeff Bright's teammate out the outside lane, Clayton Thomas, he made it work and gets clear Marshall Burrow, that 4 car. Tight down low. Once again, he's going to chase that 5 up the racetrack, just like the finish we had here yesterday. The 5 up the racetrack, here comes the 4 to the bottom lane. This time, the run on the outside gets the 5 to the start-finish line as they hit turn 1. And these drivers are not going to be able to do this race on a full tank of fuel. They're going to have to come down pit road at some point for some fuel and fresh tires. Obviously, you're going to want to take 4 tires, but this can definitely impact some positions on the racetrack depending on when drivers come down pit road. Burrow clears for the race, and Cole Luigi does get the second. If you pit earlier, you may leapfrog a few drivers that you could not pass on the racetrack and get up a few positions. If you pit later, you may lose those positions early in the run, but might get them later in the run. these drivers are going to be about 20 to 15 laps short on fuel, depending on how much they can go. So we'll just have to see how that plays into this race as we get later on to the run. Burrow clears up the racetrack. He pulls away from the 42 for Luigi, who used the middle lane there. Alexander gets the third. Jeff Bright gets by his teammate Clayton Thompson to move into fourth. And then battle of the chasers. Clayton Thompson on the outside, Lawrence Palmpon on the inside. Wants some points here. Palmpon for the 5th position, top 5 for the 39 car. He clears the 5 easily down the backstretch. Here comes Matt Hamill in the 8, coming low, Steve Larker. How about Stephen Baker? We mentioned 12 points out of that points lead from Adam McDowell. Well, Baker's up here running inside the top 10. Meanwhile, Adam McDowell further back there in the pack. He's running 31st on the outside, and Joey Trickle is there with them. Could be big towards the points picture if these two start falling back and lose even more points, although I believe they're about the lowest back they can be of chasers, besides the 52 of Andrew Miller, who is damaged. So this could change the chase drastically. Others can try and close in, like Stephen Baker. Meanwhile, up front 4 non-chasers. Marshall Burrow, Code Luigi, Alexander Rowe, Jeff Bright. Then a battle back here for 5th. Matt Hamill can make it a non-chaser top 5. Matt Hamill moves to 5th. Lawrence Palmpon back to 6th. As now here comes Steve Larker for that 6th position. He moves past the 39 car. Stephen Baker wants to be our highest chaser right now. As the 39 got into the outside wall. Stephen Baker can move side by side with the 39 to turn 3. Palmpon trying to get down in line. And Baker had to lift right there, and we'll see if the 39 can get down. Yes, he can. So Palmpon keeps 7th and ahead of Stephen Baker. For 2nd, Alexander Rowe to the inside of Code Luigi. He's going to try and clear him right here as they come off 2, but the great run on the top side for the 42 keeps him beside the 07. And Jeff Bright has joined the fun, the 1 car. He's making a 3-horse race for 2nd. Goes down to the bottom lane. Matt Hamill going to try and make it 4 cars for the 2nd position. As the 4 Marshall Barrels pull away, but they do have lap traffic to deal with. Some damaged cars like the 46 and the 48 are going to be ahead. We'll see if that plays a factor in how this race goes. So Rowe clears for 2nd. Jeff Bryce up to 3rd. 4th place now Matt Hamill. Code Luigi kick back to 5th. Possibly even further back as here comes Steve Larkin in the mix. Lawrence Palmpon, Stephen Baker. Luigi can fall back to 8th if he stays on the outside for as long as he is. First, 2nd, Jeff Bright in the 1 car to the inside of Alexander Rowe. Trying to make that pass work, but gets back up in line behind the 07. Hit turn 1. No one right now has been able to challenge the 4 Burrow. He's been able to pull away, but once again, they do have lap traffic ahead. The 48 and the 46 are side by side. Alex Stewart up top, Jonathan Wong in the inside. We'll see how this slows Burrow, if it slows him at all. Goes through 3 and 4, trying to get to the inside of the 48. He does. Marshall Burrow going to be able to get by those 2 lap cars easily. Now we'll see if they hold up the the 07 or the 1 or the 8 or the 51. It's 4 cars, 2nd through 5th in the line. 6th place Lawrence Palmpon, Stephen Baker, Clayton Thompson, Cole Luigi's falling back to 9th. A big line of cars back here is Riley Sprutube on the apron with an issue. He's coming off pit road. That's interesting there. That's going to slow up the 1 and the 8 who got caught to the high side. And he's got fresh tires to be able to mow by some of these drivers. This is really going to slow them down in their quest to try and run down the 4 Marshall Burrow. They're still trying to get back the lap cars. My gosh. A lot of cars having issues in this race. A lot of cars could be out already as the cars that have retired the 44 TJ Hanley. Alex Stewart's 4 laps down along with Jonathan Wong. Now Riley Sprutube is 2 laps down. He's going to move by the 1 Jeff Brent. That's actually going to cost Jeff some positions right there. So he goes up the racetrack and falls back. Steve Larker charging hard on the inside. He'll get by the 1 of Jeff Bright to move himself up a spot to 4th. Where's Palmpon coming for a 5th on Jeff? The 1's going to be able to get down in line for now. A little tight there for the 1. Looks like he got a good run off the corner though. So cars shuffling around. They have damaged cars everywhere. All that. And here comes Alexander Rowe. Get past by Rose Spraywood. Once again, Spraywood 2 laps down. We're coming to 30 laps of racing to go. Or, excuse me, we're past that point already as once again at 78. It's a few laps down. Marshall Burrow leads here at Rockingham by a good bit over the 07 Alexander Rowe, Matt Hamill, Steve Larker, Jeff Bright, Lawrence Palmpon, Clayton Thomas. Then you have Code Luigi, Sebastian Kukulon, Stephen Baker, I believe, are your top 10 runners. Let's go to run down the 4 cars now. These front few, a little bit of breathing room away from the lap cars. Clayton Thomas 7th is going to get by the 48. Here comes Code Luigi trying to get by in 8th. He'll get by the 48, his teammate. Sebastian Kukulon 9th, trying to get around. And they have Stephen Baker 10th. That's your top 10. Justin Knight 11th, William Seaman 12th, and William Boland's up to 13th. 14th is Michael Sanders. Peter Onjack in 15th. Luke Rain back to 16th. They have Eli Bright in 17th after getting into the outside wall early. Jay Jefferson 18th. 19th, Michael Canto. Landon Lyons 20th. They have Isaac Nichols 21st. Johnny Gardner 22nd. Bill Seaman 23rd. Danny Lloyd 24th. 25th is now Jennifer Buford. 26th, Trey Rainey. They have Adam McDowell running 27th ahead of Joey Trickle. 28th, Charles Robert. 29th, Max Anderson. 30th, Jonathan Buford. 31st, Diego Yepez. 32nd, Kaylee Bourne. They have Joey Trickle back in 33rd position, so lose points to Adam McDowell. As around goes Carson Bowers, close there for him. 34th, Jake Galloway. Pole sitter Carson Bowers back to 35th, almost spun around by Joe Jefferson, who's 36th. Andrew Miller, 37th, just trying to hang on. Anthony Lehman, after getting spun without caution, 38th. 39th now, Riley Sprague Tube. And then you get back to Marshall Burrow, who is your race leader. So they have 25 laps of racing to go, nearing halfway through the race. And pit stops, oh so close. Who's going to come down the pit lane first to try and gain time by putting on fresher tires sooner? Will someone like the 8 and the 07 try that out? Steve Larkin, and then Pound Pond 5th. 6th is Jeff Bright. Clayton Thomas. The front 10 shaken up big time, but the front few have scattered away. Really 5th on back in the battles. The front 4 have pulled away, and they've kind of spread out. Matt Hamill in the 2nd position. Though once he got clear that 07, he's trying to run down the 4 of Marshall Burrow now. He's getting a great run. We're about halfway through the race now. 22 laps down, 23 to go. Matt Hamill trying to run down the 4 of Marshall Burrow. Those two are 1-2. Oh, Burrow got into the outside wall a little bit. Now he scraped it a little bit. We'll see if he drops back. Cole Luigi slams the outside wall. He'll drop back a few positions there. As they go through 3 and 4, Matt Hamill using a little bit of a lower lane than the 4 Marshall Burrow. Trying to close in on him. And now we know if drivers pit now, they will be good on fuel. Because we've passed halfway, so as long as they come down here and get it full of fuel, they can make it to the end. But that's really an undercut that maybe you don't want to try. Maybe if you're back around 5th or 6th, you can try it. I say if you're the top 3, you just have to try and pit within a lap or 2 of each other. But if you're behind the 4 of Marshall Burrow, you really have to come in early. But look at the 8 of Matt Hamill. He's gaining here. The long run big for the 8 car. And you can see the times, how much they've dropped off. 1.5 seconds. Just about they've dropped off. And we're 24, make it 25 this time by, laps into this race. But Marshall Burrow falling back here. That the handling on the 4 car may be going away. Matt Hamill is closing in. And that's good for Hamill, too. He knows he has a better longer run car than maybe the 4 Burrows. Maybe Burrow's a better mid-run car to a short-run car, and Matt Hamill can get it done the longer run. So it'll be interesting to see how he does once they make their pit stops. See how he does. Burrows pull away against the 8, went up the racetrack that time in 1-2. Alexander Rowe closes in, but it looks like he may be coming down pit road this time. He's a little bit lower down the backstretch. We'll just have to see there. Maybe he just wants to use a lower lane. Here comes Steve Larkin. He'll be the first to hit pit road. 4th place. The 6th on pit road. Remember, he was at the back. Here comes Jeff Bright. Justin Knight sliding in onto the pits. Luke Rainey as well. So pit stops are starting here in 4th place. Steve Larkin starts them. He's the first to come down pit road. Now, when do your race leaders come in? Where's the 4, the 8, the 07? When do they come into the pit road? Looks like it might be this time for the front 2. The 4 coming in. The 8 will come in with them. The 07 as well. Staying out, Sebastian Kukulon. That's going to be an interesting strategy there. You normally don't want to stay out longer on tires here at Rockingham. We'll see how Kukulon does with staying out. He wants to catch a caution to get those guys a lap down. Same with William Seaman, who has also stayed out. Looks like maybe the L1 Peter Onjak, Jay Jefferson, some others have stayed out. So we'll see if Kukulon should be yielding this time to come down to the pits. We're almost at 15 laps to go. He's staying out a few laps longer than the 51 even. Onjak come down, Jay Jefferson. Joe Jefferson already came down. Long damage, he's come down. Looks like everyone's coming down that has stayed on the racetrack. That leaves Steve Larkin, the first car out of the pits. But we'll have to see where the 4 and the 8 come out in relation to that 51. Remember, Larkin has a lap fresher tires than the 4 and the others. So we'll see how Burrow merges in relation to the 51. Here comes Steve Larkin up to full speed down the backstretch. He came in 4th. He'll come out in the 2nd position. So now he has the task of trying to run down the 4 Marshall Burrow. That was good strategy there by the 51. Steve Larkin gained him a few spots. Once again, Burrow does a great job. His team does a great job. They actually got away from the 8 big time. Matt Hamill a little bit further back than the 4. And now it's just going to be run it hard to the finish. Now the 4 has some lap cars ahead. Like the 46C Kukulon, how far he's dropping because he stayed out an extra lap on the tires. He's just coming off pits now. So Burrow got held up by the 46 a little bit. We'll see where Steve Larkin and Matt Hamill, if they can get around the 46 down the straightaway, they do easily. So 16 laps left here at Rockingham. Marshall Burrow leads the 51 and the 8. As there, 1, 2, 3 here. Jonathan Wong, the next car ahead, Kaylee Boren. As the 78, oh, Riley Spurgeon, remember, he came down pit road earlier. He's going to grab the race lead. So remember, we saw Spurgeon come off pit road. He is now your race leader, but once again, I don't think he's got enough fuel to make it. He came in around lap 14. He's currently leading the race. However, he has older tires, big-time older tires, so he'll fall back definitely. And I don't think he's going to be able to make it. But meanwhile, Marshall Burrow's moving around the 48. The 51 has as well. Matt Hamill slowed from third. Here comes Steve Larker to the back of the 4 Burrow. And Matt Hamill's gone. He got held up by that 48 big time. These two bound for second currently, 14 laps to go. Meanwhile, Riley Spurleytube is leading the race. However, older tires, and he's going to probably have to come down pit road again. Obviously, that issue on the 78 got into the race, and he's leading laps now. However, I don't see it lasting. As looking back here for the second position, this could be for the race lead once the 78 surrenders the race lead. Larker side by side with Burrow. They're having a huge run to the 78, just like the finish yesterday in the Pennzoil Truck Series race. Steve Larker to the inside, gonna get by in 1 and 2. He's gonna try at least. Burrow trying the higher lane out. Steve Larker, Burrow side by side still as they're catching Riley Spurleytube. Burrow with a great route off the top side, trying to get clear of Steve Larker. 51 once again to the middle lane. They have caught Riley Spurleytube now in the 78. Older tires. Are they going to split them? Larker to the inside, trying to get by Riley Spurleytube. Tight 1 and 2. Spurleytube in the middle lane. Larker gets by the inside. Steve Larker leads at Rockingham. Burrow's going to try and get around second, try and keep touch with that 51. Remember, Burrow has a lap fresher tires now than the 51 Steve Larker. Can he run them back down? 11 laps left. The guy is dominated right now in second by the guy who used the pit strategy right. 11 to go at Rockingham. Burrow back onto the back of the 51 of Steve Larker. As those two pull away, Matt Hamill is going to try to get to third. Here's the battle for fourth. Right now fifth, but it's going to be for fourth. Burrow pushes that 51 up the racetrack. Side by side to 10 to go. Leading at the stripe, the 51 of Steve Larker. 10 laps left at Rockingham. Marshall Burrow going to try and clear Steve Larker right here. Remember, a lap pressure tires on the 4. Maybe that's starting to come into play. Can he pull away now from the 51 of Steve Larker? Can Larker stay right there in 3 and 4 using a higher lane? Burrow going to try and pull away. Come to 9 laps of racing to go. Marshall Burrow pulls away a little bit there. 9 to go at Rockingham for the 4 car. Up the racetrack a little bit through 1 and 2. Steve Larker a little bit lower, but once again not gaining much down the backstretch of the race. Next lap cars at the 19th Jake Galloway and the 2 of Kaylee Bourne. They probably will not catch those two. Burrow just has to hold it to that bottom lane now and he'll be good. I don't see Steve Larker running him back down. In fact, Larker losing some ground. Maybe those lap older tires. Once again, it helped on the early run. Later in the run, he's going to be paying the price for those tires, though. He's losing about a tenth a lap. Burrow going to try and pull away. He's dominated this race. Here comes Matt Hamill. We mentioned how his car is better on the longer run. Here he is running down the front 2. I don't think he's going to have enough time, but that 8 car is flying. Riley Spurleytube, the 8's teammate, still out on the racetrack, but falling back. He's back now to 10th and lose even more ground. Some more cars coming on by. But the focus is up front. Steve Larker still trying to run down Marshall Burrow, but he's getting tight up the racetrack every corner now. The tire wear coming into effect. We're coming to see 6 laps of racing to go. Burrow still has the race lead. Let's have to see how this plays out. Sawyer had his chaser wreck there. Against the wall, maybe. Lawrence Palampon. He's battling for 6th, and Stephen Baker wants these points badly. He needs that point right there. That's a big point for him. Because currently the 16 of Adam McDowell is scored 26th. Better than where he was before the pit cycles, but how many chasers does he have behind him? Joey Trickle's 1, and he has Andrew Miller also. I think he only has 2 chasers behind him. So, big point there for Stephen Baker if he can get by. 5 to go. A yellow would end it here at Rockingham. Marshall Burrow leads Steve Larker and Matt Hamill. Oh, Burrow got into the outside wall. Steve Larker coming with a run to the inside. Once again, that happened later in the last run as well. Larker to the inside. Burrow up the racetrack. Coming to 4 to go at Rockingham. Gonna get a great run off the top side, though. That was a great job by Burrow. Get to the high side. Make sure he did not overdrive the corner. 4 to go at Rockingham. He also can't get into the wall anymore now because the 51 and the 8 are both there now. Up the racetrack again, almost into the wall. Have to lift a little bit there. Back there, Stephen Baker, Lawrence Palampon still battling out for the highest chaser. And behind them, 2 more chasers battling, Sebastian Kukulon and Luke Rainey. coming to see 3 laps left here at Rockingham. Burrow, dominant so far here today, but he has to hold off the 51 the 8. 3 laps left at Rockingham. This is going to come down to the final 2 miles here at Rockingham. The Oreo 300. Marshall Burrow, Steve Larker, Matt Hamill, the 3 cars that have a shot at this win. Burrow up the racetrack again through 3 and 4. Steve Larker in middle lane. Going to try and close in a little bit. 2 laps left. Just over 2 miles left at Rockingham. Can Burrow hold on? Does he go up the racetrack again to the wall as they come off 2? We've seen drivers lose races here like that in the past. Burrow, great job using a little bit of a lower lane to get off the corner. Stephen Baker has gotten around Lawrence Palmpon. Big point there for the 23 as we come off of 4. The white flag is waving one last time around for the 4 Marshall Burrow. Steve Larker's car falling off here in the longer haul. As long as the 4 does not have a problem, he's going to coast the victory lane here at Rockingham. Off of 2, great there, down the back stretch of the race. Steve Larker going to try and hold off Matt Hamill. Stephen Baker has moved to 4th. As they hit turn 3, Marshall Burrow, dominating performance. He uses the right pit strategy. Marshall Burrow dominates to win the Oreo 300 at Rockingham. Larker edges out Matt Hamill. Stephen Baker will cross in 4th. Lawrence Palmpon, it looks like he may have gotten 5th. Great run for the 4 of Marshall Burrow, getting to victory lane as he dominated here today at Rockingham. First, we'll see what happened in that first crash that didn't bring out the caution that happened on lap 1, I believe it was. Anthony Lehman and the 3 got damaged from that. Looked like they did a great job repairing the car, though. So here's what happened with the incident on lap 1. Eli Bright in the 88 up against the wall into it. He's going to come off the wall, down to the 3 of Anthony Lehman, spin him around with the 19 of Jake Galloway. Jake does a great job saving the car. I believe he may come back up the racetrack, possibly, as the 3 of Anthony Lehman does slam the inside wall, but he does a great job keeping it down there. Doesn't collect anyone else. I believe the 19, after spinning the 3 around right there, he may come back up the racetrack and into the 48, possibly. Yes, down to the apron, up into the 48, who gets up into the 52, then the 2 there. There's the 44 and the 46 involved. And since that's at the back of the pack as well, no yellow was called. And that's a bold call there. Maybe speculated why the caution wasn't thrown there. Otherwise, it gets the 4 Marshall Burrow to victory lane as he wins here at Rockingham. Let's now go check the finish results and see the chase standings. Here are the finish results for the Oreo 300 at Rockingham. There are no caution flags, but 6 lead changes among 6 different drivers. The pit strategy there definitely helped the number of leaders, but Marshall Burrow dominated, leading 30 of the 45 laps to get to victory lane. Definitely well-deserved there. Steve Larker was closer. He tried a different strategy. Had the lead for a little bit there, but ends up second. He fell back on the longer run. Matt Hamill came up flying up to the front. He just ran out of time in 3rd. Stephen Baker, high chaser, 4th. That's very important for him. And Lawrence Palmpon, 5th. They have Alexander Rowan 6th, Jeff Bright 7th, Sebastian Kukulon 8th, Luke Rainey 9th, and Clayton Thomas rounds out the top 10. There's your top 20. Inside the top 10, 5 chasers. So that's big there. Danny Lloyd, who finished 20th, was the 8th highest finishing chaser. So 8 chasers inside the top 20 here today at Rockingham. Clayton Thomas led 5 laps. Kukulon led 2. That was all on pit strategy. Thomas, of course, led early on. Kukulon was on pit strategy. Looked at the rest, 21st to 40th. As you can see, 36 cars on the lead lap there at the end. Riley Spraytube led 5 laps. That was on some weird strategy that he had. Carson Barish on the pole back to 27th. Yepes led a lap from 3rd down to 26th. But the big storyline, the front 2 in the chase coming into this race. Adam McDowell gets 30th, your 10th highest finishing chaser. That's only 3 points for him. Joey Trickle, 32nd, 11th highest finishing chaser, only 2 points for him. So McDowell has a 4-point lead over the 25. Now you can't count out anyone else now. Stephen Baker's there. Some others are there. Only 1 car retired from the race, TJ Hanley, involved in that crash early on, where caution did not come out. At the right side of the point standings, and it's gotten a little bit closer between more drivers. Adam McDowell did open it up over Joey Trickle, but Stephen Baker has closed in. Some others have closed in. It's going to be very interesting to see how this chase goes as we get down to the final 2 races. The Target Series does have an off race. They do not go to Talladega. But once again, that's more time now to think about what could go wrong, what you have to do at the next race, which will be held at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for the Georgia 300. I'll see you guys then.